Hello everyone, welcome to the Blues Talk Zone, and remember to subscribe, then enjoy your news. Let's get started. Chelsea intensify training as Joao Pedro impresses under Maresca's new tactics. It was a bright morning at Cobham, Chelsea's lush training ground buzzing with life as the squad assembled for another intense preseason session under new head coach Enzo Maresca. The Italian tactician, known for his meticulous approach and a philosophy rooted in positional play, was keen to drill his ideas into his players ahead of a demanding campaign. The session began with rondos, small-sided keep ball exercises that Maresca insists sharpen decision-making under pressure. Joao Pedro, Chelsea's new attacking signing from Brighton, stood out instantly. His quick feet, clever movement, and silky touches earned nods of approval from teammates and coaching staff alike. Whenever the ball was at his feet, there was a sense something exciting might happen. Maresca gathered the players midway through training for a tactical chat. Using cones and markers, he laid out a compact 3-2-4-1 shape. His voice was calm, yet authoritative as he explained how he wanted the wing-backs to tuck inside during build-up, the midfield pivot to drop between the center-backs, and the front line to pin the opponent's defense high. "Joao," Maresca called out, waving him over. The Brazilian jogged up, sweat glistening on his brow. "I want you to play off the shoulder of the last defender, but also be brave enough to drop into the pocket and link. Don't be afraid to turn and run at them. The key is to keep them guessing." "Yes, coach," Joao replied with a smile, tapping his chest in understanding. His enthusiasm was infectious. Moments later, in a small-sided game, he received a zipped pass from Enzo Fernandez, turned sharply between two markers and clipped a delightful through ball to Nicholas Jackson, who slotted home coolly. Maresca clapped, shouting, "Bravo, that's it!" Beyond Joao Pedro, other players seemed to be relishing Maresca's tactical demands. Reece James was instructed to invert into midfield when Chelsea had possession, almost playing alongside Moises Caicedo. Levi Colwil looked assured stepping out of the back line, driving the ball into midfield before distributing wide. At the end of the session, Maresca pulled the team into a huddle. "Every day we get a little bit better. This is how we build our identity. Control the game with the ball, work like animals without it. Wow, perfect example today. Keep it up." Joao Pedro walked off the pitch with his arm around Thiago Silva, laughing and chatting. It was still early days under Maresca, but the atmosphere was buzzing with optimism. The players could sense they were part of something special brewing at Stamford Bridge. A new tactical era driven by intricate patterns, relentless pressing, and the flair of talents like Joao Pedro ready to shine on the big stage. Another news, Joao Pedro completes medical ahead of blockbuster move. Joao Pedro stepped out of the sleek black car that had delivered him to Chelsea's state-of-the-art Cobham training ground early on a cool summer morning. Dressed in a crisp white t-shirt and dark jeans, he looked calm and focused. Though beneath that composed exterior, excitement was unmistakable in his bright eyes. This was a huge moment. Months of speculation and negotiation were finally reaching their climax. The 22-year-old Brazilian forward was greeted by members of Chelsea's medical staff, who escorted him through the gleaming corridors of the facility. Cameras were stationed outside, snapping pictures for fans desperate for updates. Inside, though, it was all business. First came the initial health checks: blood pressure, heart rate, lung function. Joao chatted lightly with the club's head of medical services, joking in Portuguese about the long flight from Brazil and how he'd barely slept. But when it came to the tests, he was all professionalism. Then came the more intensive stages: scans of his joints, ligaments, and muscles, designed to ensure there were no hidden weaknesses that might cause trouble during the grueling Premier League season. Joao lay back inside the MRI machine, the loud hum echoing in the small room, thinking ahead to Stamford Bridge, to the roar of thousands of Chelsea fans chanting his name. After a series of agility and sprint drills on the indoor pitch, monitored closely by sports scientists, Joao Pedro moved on to meet the club's nutritionist and fitness team. They discussed meal plans, hydration, and recovery strategies. It was clear Chelsea were investing heavily in making sure their new star would be at peak condition. By the afternoon, the process was nearly complete. Joao signed a few final documents related to medical clearance, then shared a brief handshake and hug with his agent. who beamed with relief. Outside, fans had begun to gather, hoping to catch a glimpse. Joao paused to wave, giving them a thumbs up, though he was careful not to speak yet. The club's official announcement would come soon enough.